comes down in the corner. We are live. Hey, Lord TGIF. It is the last Friday of August 2021.
I know. Where did the summer go? Your kids are back in school. It's like we're back and we're going to be thinking of fall soon. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. But you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in this world right now. A lot of stuff, a lot of anxiety. People are going through a lot of anxiety, whether or not we're going to go back to lockdowns again and kids wearing masks in school and all kinds of stuff like that. And it was interesting because Debbie came up with this idea of what we could talk about today. And it's kind of funny in a way because I was doing that with my daughter years ago. And my daughter suffers from anxiety and some other issues too. And I remember years ago, and I must have read an article about it, about tapping, that when you have anxiety or when you're upset, you tap. And I remember we used to kind of laugh about it, but so I did know a little bit about it. But then I was doing more research for today, and I was just so impressed with it. And just so you know, friends helping friends, we are not experts on anything. This is just we're learning as you guys are learning. But this is really interesting. We're going to talk about two topics today. I'm going to talk about the tapping, and Debbie's going to talk about acupuncture and what she does and stuff like that. But it's so interesting with tapping. There's different parts of your body that you need to tap. And the whole idea of tapping is to connect with your inner self. Okay. And the thing that I was kind of laughing a little bit about was you have to practice doing it. Okay. Just like we were practicing with our breathing a few weeks back, it's the same thing. So when you're in these situations, you can go ahead and do this technique. Now they're saying, you know, it's great for anxiety, it's great for weight loss, and it's even great for pain. So this week, I'm going to experiment in all different aspects of my life because I do suffer with the weight issue and I suffer with anxiety. So I am going to in pain. So I'm going to try experimenting with this. So what they're saying is the first thing you need to do is you need to breathe deep. Breathe deep. You can follow me, that'd be great. Breathe slowly and deep. And you think about what you're having anxiety for. And you start thinking about how this is affecting you. And you breathe in and out. Remember, when you breathe in, you let your stomach out. Okay. And then after you stop that, what you do is you start and you take your hand, you fold it like this. This is called your karate. There's a name for it, karate part of your hands, karate chop part of your hand. And you tap it like keep tapping it with your 4 fingers. And you say to yourself, I know I have all this anxiety and I know that I could get rid of it. You just say whatever is on your mind. You could say, I am anxious because of what's going on in the world. Okay. And remember, keep breathing the right way. Okay. And then you take and you go and you tap the side of your head right here, right by your temples. Okay. I could get this anxiety out of my head. And you say stuff like that, like, I know this is rough, but I could do this. Okay. And I'm just making up this stuff right now as far as the words. And then you go in your temple, right by the end of your eye, in the inside of your eyebrows, and you tap there. And you say, I know I could get rid of this anxiety. I could get rid of it. Just say stuff like that, you know, positive stuff, and recognizing your anxiety. Then you go to the side of your head by your temples and you tap there. All right. Tap a few times. There are 2 fingers. I know I could get rid of this anxiety. I know it's there, but I'm going to get rid of it. And then you go to um, 2 fingers by the top underneath your nose. All right. Keep tapping, keep thinking about you're going to be calm and you're going to be relaxed. And then you go to your chin, you tap on your chin. Keep thinking to yourself, I could do this. I don't need this anxiety. I'm doing good without it. And then go to your collarbone. You press by your collarbone and you say, I could do this. I will no longer have the anxiety. Okay? And then you end with breathing. Remember, breathe when you breathe in, your stomach goes out. And that's it. That's just like a short version of what you could do. Go
So
on
good.
go on YouTube and go and look up tapping. There's a gentleman on there. I don't know what his name is, but you'll see him on there. He's got tons of techniques. There's quite a bit of it. I was just doing a small version of what I was studying. But like again, they were saying, if you do this stuff and you practice it, just like your breathing we were doing, you can really help yourself. It's going to be interesting because I'm going to try it with my eating because I'm a compulsive eater. And instead of me sitting there thinking about my compulsion to eat, I'm going to try tapping and talking myself out of eating. So again, I'm going to experiment with this all week with my pain and everything. And I'll let you guys know how I did because I think it's really interesting. Now, this is kind of they're saying that tapping it is kind of like it's kind of like acupuncture, but you're doing it to yourself at home. But Debbie, you have any questions about the tapping before we go into anything else?
I don't have a question, but I would just tell you that I think it just felt so peaceful. And I think that if you're having a moment or you're going through a stress time, you know, there, you mentioned all the areas, and there's actually maybe what we could do is we could put this down there because it does have like the areas that you just went through or whatever. Maybe we can post this. I could post this after we're done, so I have it saved. But I feel a little calmer. So now, if this is going to help, here's a practical thing, with the breathing and with that, I don't have any questions. I'm amazed, of how cool that is.
Right, exactly. And I remember years ago because I was trying to find all kinds of stuff to help my daughter with anxiety.
Right.
And I remember we found this, and I remember she was doing it. And I mean, it was a while back, so I don't remember what happened, but I could really see how it would stop your mind from going to that next step. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to practice this all day because when I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I have a habit. I want to eat something, and it's gotten to be really out of control. That's when I'm really bad with my food. So I am going to try tapping and see what happens. So maybe that'll just go right to bed. But with other things, with my pain, I'll know I suffer from a lot of pain. So, but if you are really interested about this, go ahead. Debbie's going to post that online, but also go ahead and go to YouTube or anything. There's so much information out there. I was so impressed, and I'm so glad, Debbie, that we came up with this topic today because so many of us are suffering with so much stress with what's going on in the world and just everything with the COVID and everything. And I think it's going to really help a lot of people to think clearer. So with that, Debbie, I'm going to have you talk about the acupuncture. I mean, I know you've been to acupuncture many times. So with that, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to add that to that, Lori. How about the fact that this what you just shared is an at-home, do-it-yourself, not leave your house, pay a penny, what's the word I want to say, way that you can actually help get yourself on the road of trying to combat what you're feeling. Okay. Because don't think that you can look around and think that everybody else isn't going through something, whether it's what we've been talking about or whatever. So a long time ago, as a hairdresser standing on my feet, I always was told that if you keep your spine, your body, and everything in top running shape, it's going to help you, because it's an occupation that is awesome, but it is hard on your body, you know? And so I've been doing it for 42 years, which is kind of
Wow.
really weird. Actually, I think it might be more, but I'm going to say, because I remember I used to cut people's hair before I even went to school to do it. But I'm just saying, technically, right? Licensed as a cosmetologist. But anyways, so I've always done things like chiropractic, which I think is really good. And some people have a viewpoint on it. We've interviewed some chiropractors, and I think there's a really good, like, keeping your body in check and keeping your spine, because of your organs and everything. But then you've got all the nerves in your body, and you've got your vascular system, and you've got all these things that feed off of each other, and it attacks like your immune system and things like that, where I shouldn't say attack, but it's connected. Okay. And you've heard me talk about the brain connect and all that kind of stuff. So a while back, over some research, my daughter actually found this really awesome a chiropractor for something that she wanted to try her for. And so she kept saying to me, "Oh, you should go." Well, this is a kind of a funny story. I started talking up this acupuncturist, because I heard all the great things she was doing for my daughter, but then other people were telling me that they were interested. And so I kept sending this woman, this chiropractor or acupuncturist local to me, all kinds of business, right? And I kept sending it, but I never went. And so all of a sudden my daughter's like, I need to make an appointment. Why don't you just go with me? You keep talking about this and you haven't tried it. You would probably love this. And this is a couple years ago. So I went, and first of all, when I walked to the office, it was kind of hilarious. So like, "You're the one, you've been sending us all these people." And I'm like laughing. I go, "Yeah, I know, because I heard such good stuff." And they were so happy I came and tried. And when I it's fast, when you lay down and they ask you a bunch of questions, you fill out everything about what your concerns are. Okay. And the benefits of it with helping with your immune system is huge. Helping with stress points is huge. Helping keeping your body just running efficiently, especially through combating any kind of adverse things out there that we deal with. So, and she explained to me that, it's really good if you can do this on a regular basis. Like, and I tried to go like maybe once a month. Okay. So one of the times I went in there, which was probably in we'll just say the last 6 months, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but I laid down on the table, and she knows me well enough, and she knows where my points are and stuff like that. And she said, "What is going on with you?" And I'm like, "Why?" Like, I really was kind of like, "Oh, really? What's going on?" What? She goes, "Your shoulders are so tense." She goes, "What is bothering you? What are you stressed out over?" Is exactly what she said to me. And so I shared it with her, which I'm not going to share in here, because we try to keep everything pretty vague, and because we all have our viewpoints and all this kind of stuff. But I had a very strong viewpoint that was really bothering me, having a very big conflict with some people and stuff like that. And it's a viewpoint out there amongst a lot of people. And she had her take on stuff, which was the same as mine, thank the Lord. But anyways, so we started to talk a little bit, and she goes, "Okay." And she goes, "I'm going to make you feel better." And literally when I walked out of there, I felt like $1,000,000. When you go, the next thing you want to do is drink tons of water. Toxins are coming out of you and stuff like that. It's amazing. And she actually does a technique too called cupping. And if you have ever, the way I can say this, did you ever see Michael Phelps when he swam in the Olympics, and he came to the side of the pool and you saw all these like marks on him? That's where they take these cups and they draw all the toxic blood and things like that and toxins to your skin, and then it kind of flushes out. So you look like you were hit with a dartboard, but it's all even. And my first concern was I had a shirt kind of like where it was like the back, you could see it. And I thought, "Oh my God, somebody's gonna think I got beat up." But I literally had people say to me, "Oh, did you get cupped?" And I'm like, "Yep," because it lasts for a couple days or so. The darker, the worse it is, the more the stuff you got going on. But I guess what I just want to say is that it has been really good. So I try to keep it up. I try to say this to me is kind of like my maintenance for myself. It's like, you put the oil in your car, right? You put gas in your car, you get your checkup and all that stuff. Well, we're putting the fuel in our body, the gas in our body from comparing to an automobile, but there's certain things that we should do in addition. And I'm very sold on it. They do acupunctures on babies, children. They use it even, I know this is a little off topic, but they use it for learning, I want to say disabilities, but learning situations. They use it for people who are having a problem getting pregnant, people who have bowel issues, and they know the trigger point. So I'm really into this bottom of the foot reflexology technology that has to tie into other things that I'm a part of that I'm very passionate about. So anything touching the skin, now think about this, you guys, your skin on your body is the largest organ that we have. It's considered an organ. Okay. And how many of us, so let's bring it a step further. How many of us are huggers? Lori and I are huggers. How many of you guys are shake the hand of a person you just met? I don't know where I learned it. I don't remember as a kid learning it, but I always would put my hand out and want to touch somebody.
Right.
When my client sits down in my chair, most of the people, if you're listening, you are a client, I always like rub their back a little and be like, how you doing? What can we do? What are we doing today? Or if I walk them from the chair over the thing, I kind of put my arm, this is me. Okay. This is the way I am. And so I feel like, there's a lot to be said about the tapping, finding that area, the place Lori was sharing, where it is, calming your body, taking your mind, doing the breathing we learned, and tying the whole thing together. And I think if you can take a takeaway from it is that take the time out to recognize you need to do a little something and apply some of these things. These, again, they don't cost a penny. Yes, the acupuncture does. Okay, so you're going to an office visit depending on who you're going to and what you're paying, but this tapping doesn't. So anyways, that's my my spiel for today.
I think it's great. Acupuncture helps with weight too, doesn't
Yes.
it?
It does. Yes, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
I was looking at the internet and they were showing all the points of what helps you with this, that, and the other thing. I know that's something I think I'm going to try to explore too. Because medications are great, but they're not. There's so many side effects. And I don't know about you, but I mean about some of our people out there, but I take 11 medications a day and I feel exactly the same way. Some of my medications don't even help. So it's good to explore different things. Like again, it is rough out there and we got to stay positive as Americans. I mean, I'm putting that in there because a lot of us are stressed about what's going on. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you so much, everybody. And you know what? If you have any questions, please send us a message or put it on our Facebook page and we'll try to answer. And I am going to dedicate this next week just trying different things, and I'll let you know as I'm doing it how it works out. It'll be my little experiment. So Debbie, anything else to add on there?
I was gonna say, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this little thing, this diagram, so that gives you a visual because it shows you the steps that Lori did. And then also, again, we just want to say thank you so much for listening to us, two crazy chicks who actually kind of get together and talk about all kinds of subjects. But you guys, we have a couple more subjects for the future that had found, and then we've got some incredible interviews coming up. And when I say incredible, I'm saying mind-blowing, all kinds of stuff of all different people of different walks of life that we feel are bringing so much of value to everyday people like us. And that can help us and impact our lives. So our goal obviously is for the health and wellness of you and friends helping friends. So please recommend us. We want to get that 1,000. I would love, what do you think, Laura? A great Christmas present to this, for the health and wellness of you is hit that 1,000 by the end of the year. I know we can do it.
We're going to do it.
And and about mid-September, you're going to see us with a nice YouTube that we're going to have everything going on too. So with that, I'm going to say, guys, have a fantastic weekend and safe weekend, a positive weekend. Take some time out for yourself weekend.
Try tapping.
Try tapping and having fun. Okay.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.